And a fairly veteran crew getting ready to lift off tomorrow. Among them, NASA astronaut Tim Kopra, who's going to be making his second trip into space. He previously flew to the International Space Station on shuttle mission STS-127 back in July of 2009 and spent 2 months on board as a crew member of Expedition 20. Just before he left the Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center in Star City, Russia, late last month, headed down to Baikonur in order to prepare for his first launch on a Soyuz spacecraft. He talked about the upcoming mission with my colleague Pat Ryan, saying he was very confident and the crew was ready for its 6-month mission.
We are 100% ready. We've spent a lot of time getting ready for this mission, and frankly, there's the 2.5 years of training for this mission, but there's lots of training that we do even before this in terms of space station systems, learning how to do spacewalks and do the robotics operations. So it's a culmination of a lot of hard work.
Was it much different from the training for your first flight to station?
It's quite a bit different, in lots of respects. One is that over time we've gotten much, much better in training crew members for space station in every respect, in terms of the systems on board and finding the right level of training that we need, but also in terms of how efficient and how effective we are in training for the emergencies that could happen on board. We've done a great job of that. That's a big difference. The second big difference is the fact that we're going up and down a Soyuz now. And last time, I was a space station crew member while I was on board and was trained for emergency descent, whereas this time we go up and down. I have a very active role as the left seater in the Soyuz, and so I've spent probably half of my time here over the last couple of years being able to work closely with Yuri Malenchenko and Tim Peake as the left seater, and it's much different. It's a much higher bar in terms of the expectations, but we're ready.
I was going to ask whether or not you're excited about having a different ride to the station this time.
I am really excited. I truly respect the Soyuz space vehicle. It is a very safe vehicle. It protects us through the entire flight envelope, and it hasn't always been that way. It's not the way the shuttle was. We know that even if we have anomalies going uphill to space station, that we'll be in a safe place. And so, yeah, it's a pretty exciting thing.
Talk me through what happens then on Soyuz launch day. What is it like for you and Yuri and Tim on that day?
It's a very methodical approach, and the Russian Space Agency has been doing this for a very long time, and we experience this as the backup crew, watching the prime crew go through the flow all the way up into getting into the vehicle and then launching. And so, having watched that, essentially it's like being a dress rehearsal for us, having gone through the backup flow. And what that entails is on the day of launch, they wake us up, you have a breakfast, you go to a suit up room, you make sure that your suit is pressure tight, you get into the vehicle, you do your preparational checks, they close the hatch, and then you launch. And so it's nice having gone through that, and it's very methodical and well thought out, plenty of time, and we'll be looking forward to that ignition.
As you look ahead to your time on orbit, is there anything special you're looking forward to? Spacewalks or particular experiments or whatnot?
We may do some spacewalks on board. You never 100% know until you get there because there's lots of dynamics with human spaceflight. There's different cargo vehicles come up, and equipment on board that's outside tends to break on occasion that needs to get repaired. If we have the opportunity to do a spacewalk, I think it's icing on the cake for a mission. But our primary job, in addition to that maintenance, is to be the scientist on board. We're a scientist, we're a lab technician, and sometimes we're the experiment. And I think all of us feel very honored to be able to participate in that.
Are you planning to share the mission on social media channels that some crewmates have been using?
Absolutely. I look forward to be able to send my best pictures down on Twitter. And I hope that I get better and better with my photography, and so I can really send some great photos. It's not just an honor, but maybe even a responsibility, I think, to share our experience on board. And I noticed last time, I liked taking pictures before. I like photography, but I became quite the enthusiast because the subject matter is just tremendous. Both the internal portion of space station, but also our beautiful planet. And so I look forward to taking those pictures and sending them down.
You're going to be 7 months or more before you get back home here to Houston by the time you finish this mission. Uh, Tell me why what we're doing on this space station is worth making that kind of sacrifice.
You know, frankly, I wouldn't consider our time on board a sacrifice. I really consider it a privilege because all of us are very, very passionate about human spaceflight. And to be able to participate and actually be actively involved in it in this capacity is just a tremendous honor. In terms of what we're benefiting from the space station now is an orbiting laboratory and it is fully engaged. And there are several different areas in which we're learning very, very important things. The one that's closest to my heart is learning what it takes for us to expand our ability to be in space. And so we're learning about what zero gravity does to the human body, and it's very, very important science. Also, space station itself, in my opinion, is an experiment onto itself because we're learning about the systems that are on board that are required to both work and live in space, and that's very, very important. And then lastly, there's a tremendous level of benefit from the basic research that we're doing on board. There are certain areas, especially in the area of biology, that is different in zero gravity, and we can learn a tremendous amount from this laboratory. Also, there's combustion science and fluid flow. These are basic science areas in which we're going to improve our knowledge base, and they'll have benefits to us here on planet Earth someday.
Tim, thanks for the talk. Have a safe trip and have a good time on orbit.
I will. Thanks, Pat.